They say you get used to city noise, but the last thing I expected to hear in my cramped apartment above the laundromat was footsteps in the attic, especially since my building doesn't have one. At first, I tried to brush it off as pipes or maybe a raccoon, but the steps were too deliberate, pacing slowly overhead every night at 2:13 a.m., always stopping when I got out of bed. I mentioned it to my neighbor, but he just gave me this blank stare, like I'd admitted something shameful, and changed the subject. I started recording the sounds on my phone, hoping to catch proof and maybe confront the landlord. The next morning, I played back the recording, expecting to hear footsteps or maybe scuffling. Instead, my phone blasted a frantic voice, raspy, desperate, and eerily familiar, pleading, "Don't go to the basement. Please, whatever you do, don't check the basement." My building doesn't have an accessible basement either, at least not one I knew about. The voice kept repeating, more urgent every time, until it cut off with a sound like a door slamming underwater. I was shaken, but curiosity gnawed at me. Was someone trapped down there? Was this some elaborate prank? I spent the afternoon searching the building, pestering tenants and finally cornering the super, who reluctantly admitted there was a crawl space behind the boiler room that led to an old, sealed-off basement. He claimed it was just for storage, nothing down there but dust and rats, but I noticed his hand trembled as he handed me a flashlight. Against every instinct screaming in my head, I squeezed through the narrow crawl space, my heart thundering, the air turning colder with every step. The flashlight flickered over rusted lockers, broken furniture, and finally, a dusty tape recorder sitting in the middle of the room, its red light blinking. As I reached for the recorder, a cold hand wrapped around my ankle, yanking me to the ground. I twisted around, and there, half buried in the rubble, was a figure with my own face, its mouth open in a silent scream. The last thing I heard before darkness swallowed me was the frantic voice from my recording, echoing all around, "Don't check the basement." Now, every night at 2:13 a.m., if you listen closely in my old apartment, you might hear footsteps above, pacing, waiting, begging you not to follow.